Okay, It Chapter 2, because at the end of the movie, spoiler now, which this is going to be a spoiler review, because I'm not talking about this movie twice. Because the movie at the end basically has the bad taste to say suicide is a good thing as long as it benefits your friends, which it's not. I'm gonna give the number for the suicide prevention hotline. Number will also be in the description. 1-800-273-8255. Suicide is never the answer. God loves you. There's always someone out there that loves you and will be devastated if you take your life. You're too valuable just to kill yourself. Now, to get into the review proper, what initially appears to be the beginning of the movie, we see the Warner Brothers logo, we see red balloons, and even though this is not part of the movie, I'm reviewing it as part because of how much it took me out of the movie before the movie started. And then we see the DC logo, which I literally scratched my head. And we see Harley Quinn. I'm so sick of clowns, and it's a trailer for Birds of Prey, and they even did it. It made the way they paste that, how you get that little brief technology thing, whatever it is, before the movie starts. This trailer came after that, and it immediately took me out of the movie. And the movie begins with a rather infamous hate crime from the book. Only in this case, when they throw the guy over the bridge, it feels more like Pennywise it, which I do refer to it as it because Pennywise is just a form it takes, but it feels like it just happened to stumble upon this guy thrown over the bridge in feeding on him, and it's an oddly paced, edited scene that just doesn't work. We go on, we have Mike start calling all the members of the Loser Club, which I'm going to say right now, I hear a lot of praise for Bill Hader in this film. I couldn't stand him in this. Richie was so obnoxious and annoying. I wanted it to kill him. I wanted him out of there. And we get the flashbacks. And when we meet Barb, she's, again, like the book and miniseries, she's in the abusive relationship. But the confrontation between her and her husband is simultaneously more intense and less intense at the same time, nowhere near close to what it was in the book, which is what it should have been. And I'm not saying everything from the book should have been in the movie. There's a running gag with Bill and how the endings to his book stink, which Stephen King's It, as good as the book is, the ending is horrible. And James McAvoy, he doesn't have much to do, and it feels like he's overacting to compensate for it. Jessica Chastain feels like she's on autopilot. Mike is decent. The only adult loser I actually somewhat liked was Eddie. And they, for some reason, rather than making him a chauffeur, made him a risks analyst, which the chauffeur is kind of important because he was basically the group navigator. Even if they got lost, he would always somehow know we go here, which, again, plays into him becoming a chauffeur. Adult Ben, big yawn. They tried to set up this love triangle between Ben, Barb, and Bill, and none of them had any chemistry. Plus the fact that they made Bill's wife for the one scene she's in out to be just this unlikable person, but you still wind up, at least I did, not liking Bill for being in this love triangle when he's married. And anyway, they have a scene at the Chinese restaurant, and it has a lot of CG effects that look atrocious. And it ends with one of them smashing the chair against the table and the lady coming in calmly. Is everything okay? No, that does not happen in real life. The cops would have been called. We see what happened to Henry Bowers. Spoiler alert, he gets spit out of a drain pipe as a kid, walks home, gets arrested, and adult Henry is very... he's there. What can I say? Kid Henry was a much more threatening presence. And again, Bill Skarsgård, he just tries too hard to be scary to the point of hilarity. Plus, there's a scene that destroys the mythology with this girl he takes he kills who's clearly not scared of him. And it's always been established a part of the lore that they need to be afraid for him to kill. As well as the scene we seen in the trailer in the mirror house. And I seen that, and when he has his tongue sticking out and he's dragging it against the glass and it goes into that big needle tooth grin, I thought it looked hilarious. I heard people gasping and I was laughing, and it was just, ugh. Plus, the whole what they have to do to battle it. Thankfully, they left the turtle out and didn't totally jump the shark. Mike spent some time with these Indians that live near the city, stole this jar that was capable of containing Pennywise. If they perform the ritual of Chud, which is different in the book, they all had to go gather some relics from their past, but two of them had the relics with them all along, including one who held on to something he shouldn't have, despite the fact that he had no memory of what happened. And plus, the way this film is edited, it makes it look like it wants to be friends with them, because it shows more flashbacks with the kids, and I'm going to say, the digital de-aging for the most part was horrible, as well as what they digitally did to their voices. It was jarring, and it didn't work. It felt like I was watching CG characters with mechanical voices at times. But anyway, it shows more encounters with the kids, with it as well as the adults, and in each case there were times where it had them dead to rights and could have killed them, but let them go. It makes it look like it just wants to be friends with the kids. Yeah, anyway, this movie's garbage. I hate this movie, by the way, in case you haven't figured it out. I want my money back. This movie was horrible! And anyway, as they converge to the final battle, we see a thunderstorm. Lightning in the background, which put a smile on my face, because the scene I most wanted to see transferred to screen from the book was as they killed it, a storm came out of nowhere, and it totally destroyed the town of Derry. I wanted to see this scene so bad. We'll get to that in a minute. They go in, they get separated in the house again. We see a CG spider head crab thing, which is clearly, I'm not even going to call it an homage, a cheap knockoff from the scene from John Carpenter's The Thing, done so much less effectively than CG than a film with practical effects over 30 years ago did. And they even took the line from the movie, and it's just, no, movie, you do not get to reference a classic that's in a league you won't even come close to. I hate you, movie. They go into the sewers, perform the ritual, all burning their tokens, which again, certain ones, if like, the one character had no memory of what happened. Why did he keep his token with him all these years with the signature? So, yeah. Remember how people like to talk about how bad the spider looks in the miniseries? I'll take that thing over this spider clown hybrid thing they had in this movie. The CG was abominably atrocious, and because they kept the clown's outfit on the spider, it looked like the spider was wearing a diaper. There was a scene where it looked like Richie was gonna get killed. Get him out of here! But no, the only likable character in the movie, Eddie, gets killed because he got killed in the book. They could have maybe shook things up and let Richie go and Eddie live because he's the one I cared for. Because there's even a scene where he encounters Henry. Henry stabs him in the cheek with his knife, and he pulls the knife out of his cheek and stabs Henry with it. Plus, they're constantly facing the same fear over and over, conquering it and having to reconquer it again. This movie, for an almost 3-hour movie, it felt like it barely covered anything and left so much out, to the point where we even see flashbacks to the underground clubhouse that wasn't in the first movie, despite the fact that it was an important part of the book. And again, that took me out of the movie. So they realize all they have to do to kill it is just be not afraid of it, and you're a clown, you're just this, you're that, and it turns to this weird baby-looking thing as they take the power from it, rip its heart out, and crush it. Which, if that's all it took, I would kill Pennywise in 2 minutes just by laughing at him because he's so not scary and unintentionally hilarious. The storm never came, it never destroyed Derry. Which, why did you put so much needless CGI that could have been done practically when you could have allocated that budget to the destruction of the town? The scene I most wanted to see, there's a scene in the book where it's so bad, the standpipe comes loose and rolls into town, and that would have been great. That's where the CG needed to be utilized. And as they defeat it, in this version, they all retain their memories, and they get a letter from Stanley saying, look, this isn't a suicide. I'm taking myself off the board because I know I'd be too afraid to come. And unless we're all together, you're all gonna die. I'm doing this for you guys, and it's a good thing. In the film, again, it glorifies suicide, says if it for the better of your friends, go ahead. Off yourself because you don't matter. You are disgusting, movie. No, this movie is garbage. That scene is so disgustingly distasteful. Literally, the whole movie, I was teetering between giving it a D- or an F. After that scene, my final rating for this movie is kill it with fire. I'm never watching that movie again. If you want to see it at your own risk. This is the worst movie I've seen this year. It is absolute garbage and should never be viewed. So, that's my It Chapter 2 review. I hate this movie. I want to burn this movie. What are your thoughts? Agree? Disagree? Oh, you just don't like good horror. You have no taste. You don't know what you're talking about. Or, you made some good points. I agree with you. Comment below. I look forward to hearing what you have to say. Over and out.